6:03 now on Friday, June 27th. We're at 66 degrees. Highs later in the low 80s, but still humid. Good morning. I'm Michelle Basch.
And I'm John Aaron. The top story we're following: State Department employees may want to update their resumes because widespread layoffs are said to be imminent. This is despite a court order that blocked the reductions in force directed by President Trump. WTOP's Lynn Bowie says the cuts could reportedly happen as soon as today.
The State Department is looking at about 1,900 layoffs.
A lot of folks are feeling that this doesn't really come down to merit. This doesn't really come down to seniority.
Jory Heckman with Federal News Network says the reductions in force target the domestic workforce, but puts hundreds of foreign service officers in limbo.
One of them compared this to like a bad game of musical chairs, that they might get riffed just because they currently are detailed at a domestic office when they would be bound for somewhere else overseas fairly soon.
This month, the Trump administration asked the Supreme Court to clear the way for these reductions in force to go ahead.
The Supreme Court, will they weigh in? And if they rule in the Trump administration's favor, you can expect the State Department to issue those RIF notices very, very soon thereafter.
About 1,600 State Department employees have already left through early retirements or buyouts. Lynn Bowie, WTOP News.
Hours after federal prosecutors announced they would deport Kilmar Abrego Garcia when he gets out of a Tennessee jail, they announced they're first going to try him on human smuggling charges in Tennessee. The story from WTOP's Alan Etter.
In a conference call with a federal Maryland judge overseeing Abrego Garcia's case here, the DOJ said it'll let the human smuggling case play out first, then deport him, and not to his native El Salvador, where he went in March. They say they'll deport him to some other country, doubling down on allegations that Abrego Garcia is a member of MS-13 without evidence. Abrego Garcia's attorneys filed an emergency motion to bring him back to Maryland when he's released from Tennessee, and a U.S. magistrate there has already ruled he can be released until his trial. But they're keeping him in custody at least through Friday out of concern that immigration officials would pick him up and deport him again. Though they've provided no timeline for any of this, prosecutors have said they will abide by any court order that's handed down. The Trump administration admits Abrego Garcia was mistakenly deported in March, calling it an administrative error. Abrego Garcia's attorneys claim the human smuggling charges are a ruse, saying the DOJ is trying to justify its earlier erroneous expulsion. Alan Etter, WTOP News.
The Prince George's County School Board has finalized a contract with its new interim superintendent. The school board announced yesterday that Sean Joseph will start the job immediately. He was appointed to the job 2 weeks ago by County Executive Aisha Braveboy. Joseph served as a deputy superintendent in the county from 2014 to 2016 before leaving to head Nashville Public Schools. A national search will be launched for a permanent superintendent. Former Superintendent Millard House II resigned earlier this month following a vote of no confidence in him by the system's largest teachers union.
The Commanders continue to say they are all in to get a deal done for a new stadium on the old RFK site in D.C., but they also say it needs to get done soon. WTOP's John Doman tells us the team believes any delays could cost the city hundreds of millions of dollars.
Sometimes a window of opportunity opens.
During a business forum on the city's West End, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser issued this warning.
We don't know how soon it's going to close.
And while it doesn't seem like that moment is imminent, afterwards she told reporters the deal presented to the D.C. Council still needs to start moving.
Me and the team will work all day and all night. We'll sit down with them whenever, wherever.
While the original July 15th deadline might have some wiggle room to it, the team says the deal still needs approved by the end of the summer. And the mayor suggested if there's going to be negotiation, well, the clock is ticking.
In all negotiations, there I think, counter offers. The council has yet to make one.
In Northwest, John Doman, WTOP News.
Last night's storms knocked down trees and left thousands in the dark. For most, the power has been restored, but some are still waiting for the lights to come back on. One stubborn spot seems to be in Prince George's County, which was hit hard yesterday afternoon. About 500 customers are still in the dark there. In Northern Virginia, Dominion Energy says about 400 customers are without power, with the biggest concentration of them in Fairfax County.
Coming up on WTOP, an iconic screen you may have seen is changing colors. We'll explain. Traffic and weather in 30 seconds.